Hi everybody, I wanted to talk to you today a little bit about one of the things that our National MEGaP committee does for all of us. And just a reminder of the acronym, MEGaP stands for Ministerial Education Guidance and Placement Committee. And at General Conference this year, a number of new members of that committee were elected. So we are working with some new members and some former members as we go about these next 3 years on this term. MEGaP is, as I said, a national committee. There are 34 members. Half of them are clergy and half of them are lay people. And one of the things I wanted to talk to you about today in particular are the interviews that happen with MEGaP and with the candidates who are tracking for credentialed ministry in the Free Methodist Church in Canada. When we get together for MEGaP interviews, typically we need 6 members of the committee and 3 candidates in order to make a MEGaP day of interviews happen. This happens on a Saturday, and we know for sure if MEGaP's happening inside for the whole day, it's going to be beautiful weather outside no matter where it is that we meet. So when we try to get those number of people together in the same time and place in the same location, we know that December, January, and February just aren't going to work because no one really wants to do this close to Christmas, and we know that the weather is going to get us one way or the other in January and February. We also know that from about halfway through June through July and August is not a good time to think that we're actually going to be able to get 9 or 10 people together in the same time and place. So that means our MEGaP season, if you like, is the spring. So March, April, May into the start of June, and in the fall, September, October, and November. And so that means we are in the middle of MEGaP season, and we've made a start already. Interviews happened at St. Henri Free Methodist Church in Montreal the first Saturday of September. This past weekend we gathered here at the Ministry Center for another set of interviews. October the 1st we gather, or at least part of the committee gathers, at Lakeview in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan for a set of interviews. 2 weeks after that, so the 15th of October, we are in Eastern Ontario at Harrowsmith Free Methodist Church. And the week after that, October 22nd, we are back here at the Ministry Center for interviews as well. So for those of you who have been praying for us, thank you for that. And there's your advance notice for some of the events that are happening. I know that the committee and the candidates alike certainly cherish and covet your prayers for them, as we all strive to do God's will for all of us in this process. So candidates, when they come, kind of wonder what to expect, and so they get to meet 6 members of the National Committee for interviews and for conversation. And the interviews are 3 one-hour scenarios. And the first one is entitled Self-Awareness, and so you can imagine what the questions are. They're about how well do we know ourselves, how well do we know God. Another set of interviews is called Contextual Awareness, and those are questions that deal with, as a leader, how do we operate within the context of our faith community? So that includes things like leadership development, conflict resolution, those kinds of things. As well as a leader, are we being a good neighbor in the community at large? Are we being a leader there as well? And how are we helping the faith community to interact and bring Jesus to the broader community at large? And then, of course, the third set of interviews are theological awareness, which, as we know, is vitally important and undergirds so much of what we do. So that's a little insight into what happens during a series of MEGaP interviews over the course of the Saturday. Again, thank you to the host churches who welcome us and extend their hospitality and feed us for the day. Thank you for those who are willing to serve on National MEGaP and be part of the team. And let's give thanks that God continues to call people to be leaders in His church.